I'll tell you what, I've thought of another game. We can put Karl into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang on, whoa, let me just we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's a lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD, the Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott directed movie.
Oh.
So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more.
So email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah. That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing ball.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very
That is
tricky.
brilliant.
Alright, bung the song on. I'll bung the song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad. Good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called Love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they wouldn't be able to reach it to unravel it.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs? Do you want to do that? Good and bad. Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose. No, really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good.
That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
And what's bad?
Don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. The hate list. Can I just return your minds to the hate list? I said on the hour that we would give you basically the top 5. Now, we have to stress, this is the top 5 most hated people that you, the XFM listeners, have suggested to us. We have not massaged these.
No.
We have not made these up. These are coming from you. Last week we began it. This week you've continued to email. So this is the list. We do not endorse this list. Some of them we may agree with, some of them maybe not, but it's the list that you have come up with. We are merely the messengers.
I tell you what was coming through recently. Cameron, but he didn't make the top 5.
I'm afraid he was just a late
Williams
entrant.
dropped out of the top 5.
Robbie Williams surprisingly dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me tell you now, in no particular order, this is the top 5 that you're voting for.
Well, I say XFM listeners, people who listen to this show. I mean, XFM listeners aren't typical radio listeners, and I think our listeners aren't typical XFM listeners.
Right.
So, I don't know what this poll, what it's worth. What any poll's worth, but I mean, this one is probably worth very little.
I think in a way it's sort of worth less.
Yeah, go on, who's the top 5 in no particular order?
We want you, the listener, to then just vote, email in with the one name that you hate the most, and then from this list, we can clear out the number 1.
Okay.
But this is in no particular order. Chris Tarrant.
Yeah.
Surprising entrant. Davina McCall.
Well, I don't think he's that surprising.
Well, anyway,
I mean,
I'm not gonna editorialise.
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying I imagine XFM listeners pretty much despise someone like Chris Tarrant.
Okay, well anyway, Chris Tarrant's on there, Davina McCall,
Yeah.
Patrick Kilty,
Right.
Graham Norton,
Right.
and Chris Moyles. Now I'm not going to say anything. Those are the names that you have drawn up. There are lots of others that didn't make the top 5. Richard Madeley was on there, Michael Flatley, Vorderman, bizarrely.
Michael Flatley's a weird one.
Very strange. So Jamie Oliver, a lot of votes for him, but he's not made the top 5. So those are the top 5. Just email in with the number 1 that you hate. And we're talking about someone
another pointless, inane poll.
Exactly.
And this time we did it. Oh, dear.
Moyles, Norton, Kilty, McCall, Tarrant. It's your choice.
Who would you have
Ricky
out of this?
Gervais.
Who would you have in your list, Karl? You're allowed to talk because people know your opinions don't matter. So, what?
I honestly don't really hate anyone.
That's
that
nice.
much. I'm not that fussed. Do you know what I mean?
We're
I
not
don't
talking so
like
much about hate. We're talking about someone that
Yeah, we
annoys
don't mean
someone
hate. You can't hate any of these people. All they've done was pop them up on telly. But I think it's people who, as one listener, she put it. She sort of, so I think she had some of those, and she said, you know, I don't hate them. These are the people that if they pop on my telly, I have to turn over. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't hate them. You know.
But sometimes it's not their fault. It's like Davina, right? I used to quite fancy her, and now because she's always on the telly, it's like I can't be dealing with her now.
Sure.
But
Right.
she's still the same presenter. It's
Yeah.
just that I'm bored with it.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not getting involved in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Don't want to offend anyone.
Let me just give the email address.
But I mean,
Ricky, let me just give the email address. I just said it, so look, talk over it.
Okay, I'm gonna do Carl's top thing.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. That's also the email address for your answers to this week's Songs of Phrase. Play it again, Karl, if you would.
Go on.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
We just want the artists, is that right?
Yeah, that'll do.
I've got two that you don't like. Not that you hate them, but that you sort of like don't agree with them. Would Liverpudlians be in your list?
Probably.
What about gay fellas in toilets looking at you?
Well, I think they've sorted that out. So
One of the prizes this week in Karl's goodie bag features this song. Play it, Karl. The Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday.
God.
Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday. Brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy,
It
isn't
is
it?
indeed.
It is monkey heavy. Karl, if you were president, would you sort of make it compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own. Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners.
it's not a bad little. It's funny, you know, because there was a story the other day when I was looking for monkey news. There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some dodgy email address where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older,
Feeding it.
it got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Karl!
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac. You stupid mank twat.
How
Don't
on earth?
talk shit. That is as if that, what?
didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into monkey news.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's a bit sad though, we don't like to bring
They
the
bought,
feature down.
yeah.
But
And how
anyway,
long was this into, it got hairier. They're born hairy!
no, it wasn't.
They're not born like humans then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle.
School photograph, they were like, hang on a minute, it looks a bit weird. With all the
Oh,
other kids.
you are just
Mad,
the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Karl.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
do it like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Karl.
No, but Suzanne was, alright, my missus, if you're a new listener.
You keep her, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news, trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather? What?
Do you know what I mean? I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, will you take notice of this? She'll be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it. It's
What did you
hassle.
come up with? You must
What would
have
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, to sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one.
Yeah,
Taking the best out
Yeah.
of
Well,
both.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like, KP looks after me,
That would be the badges, would it?
yeah.
That's good. I'm a
Um,
KP nut.
Yeah. KP looks after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about, you know, policies, transport, crime, you know, just law and order?
Yeah, what would you do, how would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Would I have to worry about that?
Okay,
Well,
no,
the Prime
good point,
Minister.
good point.
No, what I'm saying is that, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then, what are the problems at the moment? That need sorting out?
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you
put more bodies on the beat?
would you go harsher for say I don't know, drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons to
Higher
both,
or
isn't
lower?
it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people, you know, you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit, do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You'd think about it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Hello, and welcome to this DVD extra. I suppose it should be called Meet Karl Pilkington 2. We did a little bonus feature for my politics DVD, where we talked about politics, obviously, and that sort of introduced you to the world. That was put on YouTube, and it's had like 1 million hits. So I think, you know, it's time we did that again, but around science, a subject that, if possible, you know less about than you did about politics, in a way.
I reckon I do know more about science.
What is science?
It's in everything, isn't it? Can't avoid science.
It's interesting because people who believe in God say that about God. He's in everything.
No, but this is like proper. This is, you know, if people want to believe in God, that's alright. But science is, without science, you wouldn't have any of this.
Well, it's almost the antithesis, isn't it? That if you believe in the magic of, you know, God and all his impossibilities and the illogical, and, you know, that's, science looks at hard empirical facts.
See, all that went right off my head. I'm into science. I'm into the weird science. You know, I like the fun of it. There's a lot of fun in science.
Let's start at the beginning. The Big Bang. Okay, here, what do you think of this? An atom, right, is mostly nothing. One analogy is it's like a fist in the Albert Hall. So an atom, the size of the Albert Hall, the matter part of it, okay, the nucleus would be a fist. The rest is space, okay? That's one thing. With a fly buzzing around it as the electron, just
Yeah, that's
a
great.
charge. Now, when we look at it on that scale, it's easy to understand that all matter that exists, everything in this universe, was once in the space many, many times smaller than an atom.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. No one, most people watching this are going, I don't get that. My head hurts. What else is on?
Everything in the universe could be crammed into the tiniest thing imaginable. And that was sitting there in the beginning of time, right? 15 billion years ago, right? And then it expanded into a universe in a few minutes.
But was there minutes then?
No.
So we don't know then. We don't know how long it took. Not that it matters, I'm not bothered. It's here now. And that's what I'm saying to you. It's all amazing, that. The Big Bang thing. I've said to you, was it a Big Bang, or was it just because there was nothing else there to drown out the noise? At the end of the day, it's that whole thing, innit? The noise. Was there even a noise if no one's there to hear it? Don't be worrying about all that stuff. Leave it to Stephen Hawking to do it. Of course he can sit there and think about it. He's got nothing else to do. Let him get online. Oh, it's great to think. I like thinking, but my world's too busy. I've always got to be doing other things. He's sat there just thinking. I'd be the same if I was in his shoes. Exactly the same. Thinking. But he's done that much thinking. He's thinking about things now he doesn't need to think about. Pack it in, Steve. Have a rest. Play Pac-Man. Do whatever. Just do something else. Stop worrying about the Big Bang. He's wasting his life thinking about something that doesn't matter. We don't need to know the answer.
He's wasting his life thinking about something that doesn't matter. Good.
It doesn't matter, does it? In your life of things that matter, where would you put the Big Bang?
No, but then where do
We're
you draw
not here
the
for
line?
long enough. Well, we're not here for long
But then
enough.
nothing matters then, does it? So
It does, yeah.
What
Things
does?
matter.
What matters?
Well, keeping people happy.
Okay.
You know, looking after people.
So keeping them happy could be giving them life-saving drugs, or feeding a starving world, or letting someone become mobile that was otherwise immobile.
And that's fine. But you're talking about space. When did it start? Where does it end? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, it goes on and on and on and on. We know that. Atoms, they're not getting in the way. Stop worrying about them. I read something about some scientists trying to smash one up. What for? They're not in the way. If they were big and I kept bumping into them, I'd smash them up. Break them down. Gravel. Make gravel out of them.
Make atoms so tiny that they're only gravel.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's not an issue. And
Right.
there's loads of problems in the world. There is loads of problems. You may mention them all, the starvation, all that, and someone's faffing about with an atom. That isn't going to sort anything out.
Some people say mathematics is the tool of science. You need maths to do anything in science
Yeah,
of precision.
I believe that. You do. I like doing DIY. I've told you, there's a lot of maths involved. Accuracy.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay. Just taking it slightly even more accurate than DIY. Microsurgery. Putting a man on the moon. The figures had to be.
Pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you see, if we didn't have the numbers, that wouldn't have happened. But all we've done is create something else we didn't need because of something else we've got. We didn't have to put man on the moon. What was he doing? What did he do? Nothing. Has he been back? No, he hasn't. He didn't enjoy it. No one else has gone up there. The only reason, the thing that I've thought of recently when I thought that would be good to go into space again is to get rid of rubbish. That's what I'd do. They're always going on about landfill and everything. It's not good. We can't get rid of all this. Shoot it up there. Stick it into space. It's expanding. There's loads of space. Stick all the shit up there. Don't be sending a man up. I heard that one of them astronauts knocking a golf ball about on the moon. Leave your golf clubs at home and take some shit up with you and tip it.
Yeah. But do you know how much fuel is needed to get a kilogram of something up out of the Earth's atmosphere and into space?
Tell me. He had a golf club with him. A
I
golf
know.
ball.
Okay, but how much rubbish do you think we can really get rid of?
As much as you want.
But how much fuel does it take? I mean, it's a matter of economics as well. Think of the fuel that would take a bin bag full up into space would far outweigh that bin bag being on Earth.
But they keep going into space now. They're not going to the moon. They knock around space, messing with satellites.
Right.
Less astronauts. A couple of bin bags. Chuck some shit up there. And what's good with it is it won't break up. It'll just keep circling. And up there, then, space isn't space anymore. It'll be like a museum. Because there'll be old stuff from years ago. At the moment, we don't save anything, do we? It's all about recycling. Everything's destroyed. There's no evidence of the past. Go into space, it'll be like Antiques Roadshow of shit from the years gone by.
Right. I'd like to see this episode. That's mental, Karl.
It's not mental.
It is mental. How would you get the rubbish up there?
In the rocket.
Yeah, but you don't know anything. Do you know
It's
how
not
much
there.
fuel it takes to
But
burn?
they're going up anyway. I'm just saying, at least if they're going up there, do something. Do something different. It's space. There's nothing in space. Well, let's put something there. That's what we do as humans. We don't like plain space. We fill it. That's what we do. So just chuck some shit into space. That's all I'm saying. If you're up there, get rid of a few bin bags.
Brilliant. That's space.
There's nothing Don't you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing...
Yeah, but it's mental. It's everything's wrong with it. It's once again a terrible, flawed theory.
Time machines, they're funny. That's science.
Well, we're sort of going into the future, aren't we, all the time, by
Every
definition?
day, every day we are, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm talking about people want to do big leaps, don't they?
Yeah.
I met a scientist once, you know, old fella who I met, proper scientist. He said he'd love to get in a time machine.
Patrick Moore.
No, Wolf. Heinz Wolf.
All right.
Met him, he said, I'd love a time machine.
Where would he go, back or
Yeah,
forward?
back. He said he wanted to go back, because he asked me, he said, where do you want to go? And I said, I think I picked a holiday that I had.
So you went back 5 or 6 years?
Because I knew exactly what I'd be going back to. I enjoyed that week. I'd be going back, I wouldn't have to pay for that holiday, I've already paid for it. It's not like I'm turning up and someone's going, get out, you shouldn't be here. I was there.
So you're going back because you reckon you'll save 400 quid?
Well, it's 250. It was a bargain. In Mallorca, a villa, swimming pool, 3 bedrooms.
That's what you'd use a time machine for?
I'm just saying, why do people always have to jump so far
So
back?
hold on then, let me get this straight. Are you going back and it's you now and you've had that 5 years and you're loving it, oh, I remember doing this, or are you going back and just reliving it like a memory and no one knows the difference and nor do you? It's like you're just doing it and then you have to...
No, everybody there doesn't know I've gone back in time.
Right. So
Well,
you've come
me-
from the future then?
Yeah, but they don't know that.
No, I know, but you're in your body then, you look like you did then, but actually, it's Karl 5 years on.
Yeah, but I'm having the same holiday and I'm going to enjoy it more.
So you're not coming back with going like, oh, Rita, go and get that checked out. And no?
Just having a holiday. But the weird thing is, this professor bloke, he wanted to go back. He said he wanted to go back when, like, cavemen were knocking about to see how they sort of mooched about and how they survived.
See, that to me is more interesting than going back on a holiday I've already had. I'll be honest.
You wouldn't go back to being a caveman. You'd hate it. You'd be going, oh, God, send me back. And they go, no, you've got to stay here for a bit. It's an expensive
Like
machine.
10,000 years.
Yeah. Auntie Nora.
Right.
I'm cold. She doesn't want double glazing.
Why not?
Just because she's worried that when people come round and sort of knock on the door, she won't hear them because it's all sort of double glazed.
But they're knocking on the door.
No, but she said that she didn't like a bell. It makes her jump too much.
Well,
That's that way.
how do they get in now?
Well, it's a thin door and thin glass. You hear it. It's not like soundproof like double glazing is.
What, so they have to knock
They
on
knock like that on the door, and she can hear that because
But
it's
why
like
are they
a
going
wooden
to double
door.
glaze the door? Is it a glass door?
No, they want to put that PVC door in with
Hang
the
on, so
thicker glass.
she's scared by... You don't want a doorbell because that alarms her, but the knocking is fine.
The knocking's fine because you get to know knocks.
Why don't they have a bell that when you press it, it makes that noise?
Because they haven't done that yet.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
that's an
you
idea.
could do a sample of a... like that. So when they press the doorbell, she hears... That's easy, that's done. You could sort that out for her.
Well, I don't want to start getting dragged into it because...
Why don't you make Auntie Nora a bell that knocks?
Well, it could be done. But the fact of the matter is, it isn't, and that's why she didn't want double glazing.
But why don't you tell her, say, Auntie Nora, have double glazing, be warm, be safe. Hear the knock. Hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door. Auntie Nora, hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door.
She could fart until she's blue in the face. No one will be able to hear.
But look...
No one will be able to smell it.
But this
no
is
double
it.
glazing.
This
She's
is
tremendous.
it. This is it, though, isn't it? She wouldn't be around now if it wasn't for people interfering, coming up with tablets, making weak people live longer.
Right. You're annoyed at that. You're
I
annoyed.
love it. He's such a fascist, isn't he? Auntie
Yeah.
Nora, a weak person who has been allowed
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah.
No, but
Eugenics is where you'd be happier.
but don't you see what I'm saying, though? The way the world... We've changed more than the world has. We can't handle anything now, can we? Look at it, like I say, a bit of snow, a bit of cold, everything comes to a standstill.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go out, it's dangerous, you'll slip over, people having time off work.
Yeah. What would you do, right? If you run a business, right? Your business could go under, right? It snows a bit. You got 10 employees. You're paying them well, and they go, "I can't come in today, Karl. A bit icy." I'll do it. Okay. Right. They're snowed in, right? You're running the business. What are you running?
It's a, let's not, I'm not going to big myself up, it's just it's a
don't you run
factory,
it-
it's
doesn't it make bells
U-bends,
that knock? Don't it?
U-bends,
Yeah.
U-bends for...
Toilet. So you run a... Okay, right. Okay.
It's a plumbing
So
type.
plumbing, you pay them all right, don't you?
I'd say most of them are on above average.
So you're there. What time do you get in?
About 9:15.
9:15, waiting for them to come in at 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, it's snowing. It's a bit snowy, you got there. It took you a bit while. You'd set off early, did you? Or?
Gave myself a bit more time because I had to put the heating on the car.
Okay, ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello, KP Plumbing.
Oh, is that Miss Pilkington?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Who's that?
Oh, it's Sheila. Listen.
Sheila, shouldn't you be here by now?
Yeah, no, I was going to set off.
We'll set off now. Stop wasting time. We've got a big order on.
No.
We're all on a bonus here if we get this done. I'll see you in 10 minutes, shall I?
I can't make it.
What?
I can't make it.
Why not?
The car won't start and it's slippy on the drive. I just can't get out.
Get the transport. I'll see you in. I'll give you 20 minutes. All right? Don't worry about it. Thanks for calling. I'll see you in a bit.
I'm also scared of the ice. I'm scared of the ice. I'm not gonna come in today. It's dangerous.
So what are you gonna do?
Well, I'm gonna wait until the ice and snow goes away, and then I'm gonna come in.
But they're predicting it's going to be about 2 weeks before they clear all this.
I can't really travel in this. It's a bit dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you what. You stay at home. I'll replace you. Because I need someone to come in with
What,
a big
you're
order.
firing me because I can't get into work with this.
Well, I got into work, Sheila.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you don't live with me, do you? If you did live with me, then
No, but
you'd probably
it was
see
bad.
how...
It was bad where I was as well.
Yeah,
I'm here.
do you know how bad it is here? When you come round and have a look how bad it is here,
no,
you drive
I'm
my...
not coming
Tell you
round
what,
here.
you come round and drive my fucking car because I'm snowed in, you fucking calling me a cunt. And I'll tell you, if you fire me, I'll tell you to drive uni, you bald-headed wanker.
Right, you're fired anyway for that.
You're in fucking trouble then.
Right then, see ya. Right, and then
Right.
she's done with. She's weak anyway.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
KP Plumbing.
Hiya, is that, Miss Pilkington?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hi, it's Bob here.
Bob.
Yeah, bit of trouble. In my area, it's absolutely snowing. It's possible. No one's getting out. I live near Sheila.
Bob,
by the way.
listen, Sheila's just been on. She's saying she can't get in either.
She can't. I've just seen her out there trying to dig her car out, and she's hurt her back. She's really tried hard to get to work, but she can't do it because she's not very rich and her car doesn't work. She hasn't got the right tyres, and there's no public transport. They've cancelled those. Wrong snow on this country. I'm not going to make it in today, son. So I'll see you tomorrow, right, boy?
Well, no, you're saying you'll see me tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you'll probably call up tomorrow with the same thing.
Well, only if it's snowing still.
Now,
It
listen,
might not have
well, I can't run a business like this, Bob.
Yeah, it's not my fault, is it really?
So go round to Sheila's and like slag me off if you want. But I tell you
I'm not
what,
slagging
you're
you
not
off,
coming
just-
back here. Fuck off. One chance. Give them one chance.
Well, you didn't even give him one chance.
No, because they've done it before.
Oh, fucking hell.
Just annoys me.
Oh, shit, bastard, he's only gone and written it down.
The jingle there to announce yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. My mum called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue
She
there.
thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean,
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
there's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin, brackets astronaut, has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think
Yeah.
about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when
It
Suzanne goes
scares
in.
her.
She never indulges
No,
you.
it
does she?
scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her,
does
it bores
scare
her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in. It's been the horses regular for ages. But there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub, and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore.
Oh, God.
I met Suzanne after she finished work, and we went for a brew in another cafe.
God, Jesus.
It's always having a brew in a caf.
It's like a sitcom.
It is. Suzanne said I looked tired and fed up. She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It's the
It is such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy, very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. They were saying how, like, every noise has been used at least 5 times or something.
What do you mean?
Because there's only so many noises in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's only so many
What
noises.
do you mean every noise has been used 5 times? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Because
Every noise once has been used at least 5 times.
there's only so many noises. It's like a piano, isn't there? There's only so many notes.
Yeah.
And there's only so many noises.
Right.
But because there's so much stuff, the same noises are being used again.
I don't know what that means.
By whom? Who's reusing the noise?
By whatever.
So a
you'll have-
woodpecker when it's woodpecking?
Yeah. Some birds make noises that would sound like a Ford Escort, just because there's only so many noises that people can use.
What is he talking about?
Noises are a byproduct. Outside an instrument,
Yeah.
noises are a byproduct. They don't, a machine, they don't go, watch me make this noise, make this machine. It makes the noise it makes when it's doing
But
something.
why does it make that noise? Why not pick another noise?
They don't pick the
Who's
noise.
picking the noise?
A printing press makes the noise because it's the sound of the thing
Yeah.
going down.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
the printing-
a hammer makes that noise because that's what it does. No one's going, oh, can we make this make a different noise? No, it's a byproduct.
I know. So there's only so many noises.
I don't know what you mean. When Stevenson's rocker came and I went, can you make it go? It's what, that's the noise it made.
I know, but then, say like a new frog comes out.
Oh, what do you mean a new frog comes out?
They find a new type of frog.
Right.
It makes a noise, and
Yeah.
they'll go, "Yeah, I knew it was going to sound like that."
What are you talking
Because
about?
there's only so many noises. No animal comes out and makes like a weird noise, and you go, "I've never heard that noise before." They go, "Oh, that sounds like a chicken," or "It sounds like a Ford Escort," or there's only so many
What
noises.
frog sounds like a Ford Escort?
Well,
No,
there
but there'll be
can't be
some
many
animal.
because you've used Ford Escort twice as an analogy here. So you're running out of noises. You've come up with chicken and escort so far.
I can't
But
explain
the problem
it.
is, a Ford Escort sounds a bit like an Austin Allegro, so I,
I
don't
know, yeah. And a chicken, you're ripping off the turkey, you cunt. You know, he wanted to stop educating Ricky because nothing had happened. He said, look what happened last week. I scoured the net. He said, all I found was a dog in a car wash and a parrot and a vicar.
I'll
Right?
tell you what, there ain't much more going on this week.
We're talking. Listen, me and Steve yesterday we took a day off to prove you wrong, and we've come up with 2 of the most incredible
Extraordinary.
things I told you about, and they're amazing. So there are things out there. But just go for truth. Go for truth and science
Yeah,
and
that's what I do,
discovery.
that's what I do.
Don't.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fact is stranger than fiction. You don't have to revert to sort of
yeah.
like God and ghosts.
I know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, you know, like, last couple of weeks I've been saying there's not much going on.
Yeah.
I found out when I was looking that there was a day in 1930, right? It was a Good Friday, there was no news, there was nothing going on. They had to put a music video on or something on the telly, because there was nothing going on. With the educating Ricky, but, you know,
Let's see.
you've got 3 titles
Yeah.
that I tease you with, different stories, you take your pick and I teach you something. That
Yeah.
did happen.
That's a little bit of venom.
Yeah, go on.
First one is, don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
I bet that's bacon related, knowing you.
You've got enough is anus.
Say that again.
Enough is an anus.
Enough is enough.
Well,
But it's changed to enough is an anus.
yeah. And
Okay.
you've got,
Yeah.
you've also got, will it be a bloke? Oh no, will it like a bloke or a woman?
What?
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Will it?
Yeah.
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're your 3 stories
Okay.
today.
Sounds exciting.
Okay, well,
So, 3 stories. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. Enough is anus. And,
we'll have that one then.
that one.
Yeah.
Right, well, do you believe in palm reading and stuff?
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, of course we do.
Right, well, there's a fella who, he used to do palm reading.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people, he found that when he went up to him in the street and said, do you want your palm reading? He was like, a lot of them were like, you know, oh, I'm a bit ashamed of my nails and stuff, because they're a labourer or they're a cleaner, or something like that.
I know a lot of labourers are slightly embarrassed by their nails.
Yeah.
No, but...
Yeah.
So he
If you
found
look at my bloody hands, Reg,
well,
that's that hod carrying.
did I ever tell you that? Did I ever tell you that I got picked at school to make tea and serve biscuits to old people because I've got good nails?
No, go on. Is there any more to the story?
Well, that's about it. I mean, we used to do, like, I think the head teacher must have been getting something, maybe getting his mum in there for free or something in this old people's home. So, he offered the kids of the school, he said, right, all sit at your desk and put your hands on the table. And everyone did. And he walked past mine, he said, not bad, not bad. Yeah. And he said, you've got the afternoon off, you can go and serve biscuits and tea to the old people.
What did you say?
I said, alright then.
Was
good.
that? Yeah.
Good afternoon. But anyway, so these...
Yeah,
these,
what did you do?
He just sort of walked around and went, you alright, do you want bourbons or digest?
I bet you get on with old people, wouldn't you? I'd love to see you, maybe
Especially the senile ones.
yeah, no, but I'd love to see you on VH1, just in a link, they just go, you know, they've just played, Robert Palmer, right, and it comes to you in a little park, and you just sit next to an old lady, go, alright, and you go, yeah, not too bad, you go, what do you think of London? Crap, innit? And she goes, yeah, it's awful, innit? And you just have a talk, and you go, alright, well, she doesn't like it, in excess.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to see.
I still think my idea is better, but... So what are you going for then? Oh, you've picked one, haven't you? Yeah, so this fella...
So there's palmists going around the streets.
Yeah, he's going round and
Randomly trying to give palm readings.
They're losing money, hand over fist.
Yeah.
Alright, so, they said, he's what he's done, he's reading people's, bottoms now.
Sorry, whoa, you just, I didn't quite follow that. He was a palm reader, that wasn't making money, so now he's going up to people in the street and saying, can I see your arse?
Basically, yeah.
So from being a palmist to an arsonist.
Well, they just, that's what he does. He said the same sort of lines and that you get on your hand, you get them on your bottom, and, he can read them.
Right.
Yeah, he's not a pervert or anything, or making up as he goes along.
No, that's it, that was that.
So, sorry, if a man came up to you in the street and said, can I have a look at your arse?
Can I read your arse?
You'd drop your trousers, would you?
No, if he went up to him and they said, oh, I'd rather you didn't, because I'm a labourer, I've got bad fingernails.
No, that's why I've seen, that's what a lot of labourers, they're showing their cleavage, you think, but actually they're having their arse read.
Absolutely.
That's what that's what it is.
And then, right...
So is that the end of the story?
Yeah. But then because...
That's it. Educating Ricky is, there's a bloke who reads arses.
No, but
You're
then,
a mentalist.
But no, but
what are you talking about?
But then, do you know, like, now and again I come up with a little jokey line. Thought I'd make an effort today for VH1 or MTV.
Yeah.
Little line there. Don't worry, it won't last. It might just be a splash in the pan.
Okay.
Phil Collins next.
Yes, let's play some Phil.
So,
You better get that idea. Carl Zane Pilkington.
Educating Ricky, will we carry on?
Yeah.
Right, you've got left. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. And, will it like fellas or will it like women?
Well, you said wool before.
Yeah, will it.
Go on then, I'll have wool it.
Right, now this is similar to the one you were talking about before, right? They found out that,
They.
Yeah.
scientists.
Oh, yeah.
I've found out
17th century?
that, like now, 1 in 10 rams are gay.
1 in 10 rams are gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like, wool it. That's how I could get that in. They got a load of gay and straight rams.
Right.
They worked out which were which first. They said, right, that bunch there is a gay bunch.
They looked better, they just had more pride in their appearance.
And the other ones, you know, the straight ones. And then they gave them to this scientist and said, right, go on, do what you gotta do. And they took the brains out of all of them.
Just to check.
And they did tests on the brain, and it worked out that they've got something smaller in the brain. The gay ones have got something in the brain that makes it smaller. And they said, right, well, that's probably how it's going to work on males. On like males and females and like humans.
So you took from this that gays have smaller brains than straight people?
No, there's something in the brain.
Right,
so so if someone's saying, you know, oh, I'm a gay, or they're not sure or whatever, they will now be able to find out.
So you can go to the doctor and to find out if you're straight or gay.
Is there any gay in my brain? Let's have a look. You've got a little bit of a gay in you, yes, a little bit of gay in there. Yes, you've got the, you've got a little bent cell there.
Well, that's why they did it, anyway.
I don't understand how they could differentiate which was straight and which were gay to begin with, before they then gave it to the scientist. Wasn't that what the scientists figured out?
Well, how
could they tell? Were they
there's
sort
one
of
theory
mincing
that
around
it's
the
genetically
pill?
determined. There is one. There is a theory that's genetically determined, but I don't think it's as easy as pulling a sheep's brain apart and finding a little pink sort of like blob in there and going, right, we've taken the guy out, now he's going to go and shag some ewes. I don't think it's that straightforward. Although homosexuality does occur at a similar sort of rate in animals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You knew that, didn't you?
So that's that one. I mean,
I just like the idea of a farmer figuring out which is straight and gay. Well,
Yeah.
that one's wearing quite a camp-looking neckerchief.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah.
thinking maybe
Yeah,
he's gay.
is that, yeah, I love the fact they can, okay,
that was a big fan of Sophie Ellis-Bextor.
yeah, they would, they put on ABBA and see which ones dance.
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
how they...
Which one, yeah,
Well, what-
yeah.
I mean-
Put on like Barbara Streisand and see which ones sing along.
that shit is rubbish. What did I find out?
What did you
that
say?
one up.
Did you just say that is rubbish?
No, I found out other stuff in the week that didn't make the top 3.
Wow.
Wow. We haven't even had the...
This must be mediocre stuff. Then. This must be really bad.
yeah, or it might be dubious. Go on.
There's a woman in Ireland
Yeah.
who has been with a fella for 11 years.
Yeah.
She always saying to him, you know, when are we going to get married and that? And he's like, oh, we don't need to. You know, we're happy and that. You know, like I am with Suzanne, it's like, there's no point, really.
Yeah.
Unless you have a kid, I don't think you need to, do you?
Right.
So, he was like, we'll do it in time and all that. Anyway, he comes home from work one day. He says, oh, go on then, we'll get married. She was so shocked, her hair fell out.
Did you get that?
Wow.
So,
That's extraordinary.
And what did he say? Oh, I'm not marrying you, Baldy.
yeah. Well,
She was so
She was so shocked her hair fell out.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it just going to the ground. Yeah.
yeah, what else?
Right, that's
didn't make
rubbish.
it. That
That's
didn't make the
rubbish.
list.
That's rubbish.
that
That's
didn't
rubbish.
make it.
Next.
You've also got,
It's weird, isn't it, Rick, that the stories that we made up are more plausible than the facts he's actually giving
I think we
us.
tried too hard. I think we tried
Yeah,
to...
that's what he's willing to believe. He's willing to believe that a woman's hair fell out when her husband came out saying, let's get married then. Oh, you old romantic.
Yeah. Can
Now, what about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was new, though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate, do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah,
Right.
of course you can.
I'm in charge now, let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now, this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends who might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. Would you, what would you do about, single-sex marriages? Same-sex marriages?
See, this got this Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, you know, what do you think about gay fellas getting married? And he went, oh no, in the Bible it says, you know, a man and a woman. And I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it.
Yeah.
They love Big Brother, don't they? The gays.
Yeah, so interesting. But,
So,
what would your take be on that? Same-sex marriages?
And then what? Having a kid?
Well, just let's start off with, you
Well,
know.
that's alright, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. If it's not affecting anyone else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
Go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving any. I mean, you know, we're not. There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
alright if you were in if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right, and you just had these two fellas, right,
Yeah.
looking after you. But because you got no one else looking in on that saying, oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to...
why have they got married? Do you think the gay people turned to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, we're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum. That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
It makes you wonder.
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet. I'll try a bit of knob.
No. But what I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in like a little jungle, right?
Yeah.
You
How are you brought up?
Someone just puts you there.
I don't know what this is about.
Steve. I can't be bothered.
Go on,
running
mate.
the
I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
Right,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough. What
okay.
I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
What do you mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought
understand
up,
what
though?
like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps. What?
Right, well, there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right, he's brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally with him.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or does he know what's his reference
I
points?
can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should be, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
God! Oh! God!
KP takes care of me.
Oh dear. Elbow. Fallen Angel on XFM 104.9. So, there we go. Karl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Karl?
Just a little bit sort of amazed
Yeah.
by the body.
Yeah. You're in
Just
awe
the-
of it, aren't you?
Just the way,
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
no, but seriously, what we're, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think
Yeah.
if you're locked up, well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life, except there's no women in it,
Yeah.
right?
But how would that happen? What would his point of reference be? How would you bring
Right,
up
hang
a
on a minute,
person
can I just ask you
and
something,
totally...
though?
Go on.
How can infinite monkeys and a typewriter?
Right, again, I've told you before, right? That is not... You don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've told you before. It works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
when you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you'd start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. If you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, I wonder what that is. You'd go, get me a sandwich, I'm starving.
It's different though, it's different.
But I'm not, but we're not
Body's
saying
weird.
it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
Body's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right,
well that's that one.
I
I'll
was-
tick
I was-
that. It's weird, isn't it?
No,
I'll
the body is. There was something,
Yeah.
did you read that thing the other week about,
Man with two penises?
no, we don't need that, we don't need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him and put a suit on him from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, well, don't send him back to jungle. Let him set off on his own. Budget, wibble and podge. You make the best judge in the world.
No, there's a fella
Here's a banana.
who, was in a coma for 20 years.
Hmm.
Just, they kept, like, taking him through, like, the normal day, they take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it, just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit.
I just thought,
And
imagine how much
stop
post he
making,
had.
eh?
How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Karl? He, sorry, on the internet. He in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this must be it.
He went
This
into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Karl says, realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Susanna, goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, that's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my cornflakes? You've got to, you know what I mean, I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town, and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then, and he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying enough attention. He actually had, she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And, he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. They said, how do you feel? He said, horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild, what life he can.
That's
what do you make of that, though? Because the thing is that he's missed, imagine what he's missed, Karl. Imagine the music that he's missed, the
Live
TV
Aid.
programmes,
Missed
the
Live
news.
Aid.
Live Aid, he
He missed,
completely. The
Phil
Spice
Collins
Girls,
playing in 2 continents in one day.
which,
Ah!
frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that
Missed
happened.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, so he'd put on ripped jeans and they go, passe.
They just have to send him a series of those, I Love 1986
Exactly.
programmes with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's doing.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he
Richard
remembers
Blackwood
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah.
So, extraordinary though, isn't it, Karl, to think?
Mm.
No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
Well,
Is that
he probably wouldn't have, physiologically, he probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man.
Was that a good
Because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun, he wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Anyway,
Try and bring
still,
him round.
yeah, yeah. So,
You'd feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
yeah, you might feel a bit groggy, yeah.
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there's
No,
some
he's-
kind of residual brain damage.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Karl,
it,
have
that's
you been in
what...
an accident?
So we, giving the answers out for what's his name?
Oh, later, play a tune. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Bit of Snoop Dogg?
Oh, play
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Songs of Phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously, Karl,
That's
I
the
don't mean to
one
be
thing, that's the
disrespectful.
one thing you contributed to this show, Karl. And it's the weak link, I
the missing
think,
link.
in the chain. The missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Karl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Karl. The stats then, let's have the answers, if we can.
Right, it was,
Well, let's play
specials.
it once more.
Alright.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
Specials.
Yep. Jermaine Jackson.
Game of swing.
Right, it was, Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the, Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, We're Having a Good Time, and that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
well
They
done,
are
PB.
on their way
They're
to you
winging their
now.
way.
The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true. I think that, I think he's been dealt a bad hand in the brain department. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Karl?
Well, your brain's in 2 bits, innit?
Yeah.
And I wonder if one half is really good, the other half's messing it up.
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes.
the case.
Yeah, well, it is split into 2, yeah, and they are responsible for different things.
Yeah.
It's like these sort of families where there's a kind of really bright kid and then a sort of wayward child who just gets into drugs and stuff. Sort of like that up there
Yeah.
in your head.
Because you have quite sort of out there nebulous thoughts, and you've got a lot of common sense, haven't you?
And just having that, that other sense of like, this is dodgy.
What spider sense?
Just that sense where you just go, I don't know why, but something's telling me we shouldn't be here. When you go, alright, let's go. And you move from it, and you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's decided that. You know, it's like when you're lost. A part of my brain's got me lost, but then there's another bit that I don't know what it is, where they go left. And you do, and then you go,
So-
remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am, and I couldn't concentrate?
Think of that! I called him! I went, Carl, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were? What you?
I got lost. I
What,
went
in London
wandering.
you got
yeah,
lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering, and then you know, I
It's
was
when
like,
he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place, and he didn't know where he was. He
How
tried
can
to
you
take a
ever
short.
really get lost in London? Though I'm just it's a cabbie.
well, yeah, I don't want to do that because you feel bad pulling one over and then saying, "Where am I?"
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me
20
one
minutes.
time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost.
Yeah,
you said
go-
that's much better.
go around
It
the
was a cold
cul-de-sac.
day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. I had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place
What's
you
the
don't
place?
know.
What's
and
the place to be lost?
Somewhere you don't know.
Right, good. Okay,
And the
specific.
time?
The time.
Time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
But that time I was in a rush, and I was
And-
cold.
So a typical argument in your head is what? I'm lost. I'll do one side of the brain, you do the other side of the brain, okay, in your head, okay? Carl,
What?
this isn't where we should be. You want to go home, didn't you? This isn't your house, because it's a field. You live in a house, don't you? Why are we standing in a field? This isn't your house. You're meant to go home, but you've walked into a field.
No, but that wouldn't. I've never been that lost. Where I'm walking across a field, at the edge of the field, I'd go, hang on a minute, this isn't right. I wouldn't get in the middle. I wouldn't go that far. I'd go, right, I definitely shouldn't be here.
You did once. You were in the middle of a field, and your dad had to rescue you
Yeah,
and carry you
that's when
through
I was
the
a kid because I was reading as I was walking. That's,
And he never read again.
but there's another sense. I was in the middle of nettles there.
Yeah.
I'd walked. It was at my brother's wedding in Cornwall, and I was walking near a cliff edge.
Reading a book.
And okay, so okay. Carl, I know you're enjoying this book. Can I have a word with you? Just look past the book a minute. There's a big drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened, and then
Right.
that's when the other senses went, hang on a minute, I'm being stung. Load of nettles and stuff. And I just had to wait there for ages until my dad sort of thought, where's Karl? I was there for about an hour and a half.
He's read a book.
Fuck me like a cartoon.
But why are you wandering off reading a book when it's your brother's wedding?
No, this was like, we were in, I think it was St Ives in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in St Ives. And just, you know, it was a nice day in that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted, actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. So,
It's the
so you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby,
Right.
who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, you look shattered. I said, yeah, I haven't had a kip all night. She said, why? I said, I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby. She said, who's that? I said, no, some old woman. Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry. So Mrs. Battersby didn't exist. Is that what you're saying? She was the ghost.
yeah.
Wasn't the landlady.
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house,
Right.
about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there because it was a wreck. My
Were
mum
you
and dad
ill?
went out
Were you
one
ill?
night.
Did you have flu at the
No,
time?
I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
But
so-
at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St. Ives, she'll go, oh, yeah, Mrs. Battersby. She remembers coming in, because she was older than me, wasn't she? So, to
Who?
her, my mum.
Was she?
How old was Mrs. Battersby? She was older than both
She
of you.
was old because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, oh, it's Susan or whatever.
Right, sure,
You
Miss
call
Bat-
older
Miss
people
Battersby.
by the surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept me
How
up
old were
all
you?
night. You know, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older, though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking
was.
about it now. I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing the picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old are you? What are you doing?
How tall were
I'd say
you?
I look about.
How were you?
I say I look about 7 or 8. Looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at
don't
all.
remember the chat now.
Well, then
So-
why are you telling us?
It's
You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory. My mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, oh, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but
remember
you
the
don't
name,
remember
no, because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe we can believe you ate a beetle, right? Because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
what we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
I thought it was licorice. What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just a black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Karl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, what have you done? He said, I heard that. I said, that was a blob of wasabi. He said, I thought it was one mushy pea.
That's a classy restaurant that they're serving one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing. They've swapped beetle for wasabi and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think...
good job you remembered that anecdote, though, because he doesn't.
Exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, I ate some wasabi once. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did, yeah. I was in the Ivy. I thought it were mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because
What
you
other-
confidently said it was
most haunted.
haunted. It was the most haunted place.
Yeah.
But you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
But you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a
specifics
ghost.
of an ant walking around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then...
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, what do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?
Right?
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was, but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you are the strangest little man
That's
that's ever
extraordinary.
lived. Company, had a company.
No.
There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. My only friend was a calculator. Oh, God. Just imagine shots of him in Vietnam just carrying Tommy. His
batteries died, they had to have a funeral for him.
His barrels roll over the floor. Oh, fucking hell. The only company was a calculator. Before I used to knock around with a brick. Oh, fuck me.
We have to face facts here.
Go on.
The world is old.
Hold on. Right, okay. Yeah,
world's
it's
old. The world is old.
That is a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact.
It's the same as if you've got a gran who's 70.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do for her. You can say you're warm, but at the end of the day, she's still going to be shitting her pants. She's still going to be, forgetting things
Right.
and all the rest of it. And you might be taking care of her, but at the end of the day, the good days are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a way, like the world, it's got to a point that it's old. And yeah, we can say turn the tap off, turn the lights off, close the windows, stop letting heat out.
The earth, metaphorically, is shitting its pants.
We are not the same as the first man that nature made.
No. No, we're not, no.
And that's where we went wrong. And if we didn't interfere at that point, we might have been more suited to the conditions now.
So when you went back, so suppose you went back to caveman times, right? You are you, right? You'd fit in
Well,
fine.
I'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd be the king.
Maybe.
No, I would.
Right. What would you do then?
No,
How would you?
like you said, they'd be
They
worried
go.
about...
They go.
Yeah. Right.
Slightly different, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's exactly the same. We haven't changed bodily. I've got a pair of pants on.
Right. So you go back naked, so you'd fit in.
No.
What?
Because I'd look all pale and...
No. You wouldn't go back naked. Or they would take your pants off. The first thing they do if you went there with pants, they would rip your pants off.
No, they wouldn't.
They would.
They
You can't go back with pants on. You've got to go back naked. It's summer. They're walking around naked. Why would you go with pants on? Before you get in the time machine, you'd have to take your pants off.
No, because I want to come across like I'm something from the future.
Okay.
So I walk in. They're going, whoa.
What are they doing? What do they say?
They just can't believe it. They're going, what's going on?
What do you say?
I say, I'm just visiting.
What are you wearing then? What are you wearing?
This. I've gone like this.
Okay. They would definitely want to see.
No, they wouldn't.
They would to know.
Because they're sick of seeing it. To them, it's like being on a nudist beach. They're no longer looking at cock and bollocks and tits and arse. They're seeing it every day. To them, it isn't weird. To me, I'll probably be looking at them and put some pants on. I don't understand why they couldn't do that, really. I think they did the wheel before the pants.
Really?
Yeah, I think they did.
Biology. The life sciences. Isn't it amazing that we're here? That anything is here? That we're having a chat now in front of these cameras for a DVD extra. And we started off as a single cell blob, a little thing that had the right temperature in the right compound, the right minerals, ultraviolet. A little thing happened. This little nucleus. It was just a cell. Okay?
But I don't like thinking about that.
And then it divided, then it
Yeah.
got a skin, and then...
Yeah. I don't want to know. You know, when people get in touch from Friends Reunited, I go, that was 20 years ago, I don't want to know.
Right.
So I certainly don't want to know about 30 million years ago.
Okay.
I want my little time zone that I'm
Right.
born, I live, and I die in.
Okay.
That's all I can worry about. I don't
Doesn't
wanna know.
fascinate you at all. It doesn't fascinate you
It's
at all.
amazing, but it hurts your head, doesn't it? I don't like it. I don't
just
like
by
it.
chance something happened, a genetic mutation, and then that was chosen by nature. It worked. It survived. Okay.
But certain things work and they're not that impressive, like slugs. You always say, well, it's evolved. It hasn't evolved.
Okay. We share about 70% of our genetic material with a slug.
What's 70%?
Well,
What 70% has that got that I've got?
it's got 70%.
I've coughed up stuff that looks like a slug. If that's a 70% you're talking about, but there's nothing else. Nothing in a slug.
There is.
Nothing.
You share DNA with an onion.
I've heard that.
That's the roundness of the head, probably. I'm telling you that the slug has about 70% of the same genetic material as the human species. We're that close. We're that close. All the hard work was done then, in terms of like getting it right. A slug got it right. A slug is as evolved as us. It's perfect.
It's not perfect.
Why? Okay.
Definitely not perfect.
Why? Why isn't it perfect?
It's just not great. I've had to deal with slugs a lot when they were like blocking up my shower.
Right.
There was a gang of them in the tube. How can they be as evolved as me? What are they doing? Sat there, just all mushified.
Mushified! Right, talk me through it. What happened?
Just was having a shower and the shower basin filled up. I was
Right.
like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So I got a plunger.
Right.
Sort of bits of black stuff. I'm thinking, what is this? I had to unscrew the plug hole bit, couldn't quite get down there
Yeah.
to take the tiles off the side of the shower thing.
Right.
Got in there, unscrewed it all, got the pipe. Just slugs all in there. All sat in there, blocking it up. Don't know how they got in there. But that's what I'm saying to you. They don't know what they're doing. What they're doing knocking about in there. Get out! Now, what are they doing? I don't know to this day what they do. I watch insects, you know I like insects.
They survive. That's what they do. They're chosen
Yeah, but
by
they
nature.
don't know. There's another one. There's loads of insects knocking about the house. There's a spider in the outside shed.
It's not an insect, nor's a slug. Slug is a mollusk, spider's an arachnid.
Alright.
Okay.
The spider's in the cupboard outside.
Right,
I'm not joking. It's been there now for about 2 years.
right,
Could be 3.
okay,
Same one. It's quite big.
Right.
Just sits there in the corner.
right.
I go in. I smash its web up
Why?
because I don't want it there.
Right,
I
fine.
don't want to kill the spider.
No.
But I'm sort of saying I'm wrecking your house. If you move, there's no problem. Move. I go back. It's built its web again. Just
Right.
sat there like that, doing nothing. What is the point?
Well, it's not doing nothing, is it?
Oh, it's building its house every
It's
time I wreck
hunting.
it.
It's hunting.
It's not even doing that.
Well, it is. That's what it. That's how it does it. It's made a web, and things fly into it. Then it wraps them up, sucks the juice out.
But
Right.
for what? To then sit in this shed.
What
It's
are
not
you
an
doing?
Existence.
What
Why
are you-
doesn't it go?
But you're eating. You're staying in your flat. You want to go back to Mallorca 5 years ago. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, it depends. I've been.
Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in another billion years? You'll be the slug. The human race could be the slugs. There could be this amazing being that evolved from us. Going, what are they doing? People go, well, you know, 70% of their genetic material. You don't know how it's going to go. You stood on the shoulder of giants. You stood on a few slugs. You told me in your flat, but we share our ancestry with those slugs. We are related to slugs.
I have never watched Who Do You Think You Are? And they've gone in your family tree. Do you know Terry the Slug? He's a great uncle of yours. We don't need to know where we've come from. And nobody would want to hear that either on that programme. You would not want to hear that.
Yeah, but you're.
It's nothing to do with us.
Oh.
It's happened. It's all an accident.
But it's a matter of degrees. Your brother. Right. Okay. Very close to you. Your
I
cousin.
haven't seen him for about 12 years.
Okay, genetically speaking. Couldn't get closer. Okay? It's the closest you can be. A brother, a son, a mother. Except a clone. An identical twin. Okay? So, cousin. A bit less. Great cousin. Bloke round the world. Chimp. Marmot. Mouse. Bird.
I don't know what you're doing now. You're just saying words at me. What's a marmot?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you're related to him. You're related to him. With all our evolution, now we can sit around doing Sudoku and inflaming our mind and inventing art and stuff. So I want to use scientific method. Let's use a bit of logic. Okay. I'll give you a couple of conundrums because I want to see how you've evolved. Okay. There's 2 children sitting on a bench.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a boy and a girl. Okay.
They're the kids on the bench.
Yeah.
There's a boy and a girl sat on a bench.
Yeah. The blonde-haired child
Yeah.
says, "I'm a girl."
Right.
The brown-haired child says, "I'm a boy." At least one of the children are lying. Which one's the boy and which one's the girl?
But what else can I see there? Can
You
I tell
can't-
by the way they look, or am I blind?
No, you can't see.
I'm blind.
Yeah, you can't see. I'm telling you. There's still the information you need.
And they actually sound, I can tell by voice.
No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm telling you, okay?
So hang on. Say
2
say this
children
is
sitting on a
your-
bench, right?
You've come to me. I haven't seen these.
No.
I have not heard them. You've come
No,
to me and
yeah.
said, I've just been in the park.
Yeah.
Say again. I've just been in the park.
Yeah.
And I've seen
Yeah.
a lad and a girl One had brown hair, one had blonde hair.
Yeah. The blonde-haired child said, I'm a girl.
Yeah.
The brown-haired child said, I'm a boy. At least one of them is lying. Which one's the girl and which one's the boy?
I don't know.
Well, think.
I don't want to.
Why don't you want to?
I don't want to work it out.
It's a very easy one. Just think through the scenarios in your head.
I'm a girl. Who said that? The brown-haired one. I'm a
No,
girl.
the blonde-haired one said, I'm a girl.
One of them is lying.
Yeah, at least one of them is lying.
The lad.
So just the boy is lying.
Or both of them are.
Well, they've got to be both lying, haven't they? Why?
Because there's a boy and a girl there. One of them's saying they're a girl, one's saying they're a boy.
Yeah, so if one of them's lying,
But they're both lying.
they have to be both lying. So the blonde-haired kid's a boy.
Right.
See?
But what are you doing with that?
Because it trains the mind to think logically, to think through it. That's imposing a scientific method. Kings of Leon, Molly's Chambers on XFM 104.9. Thanks to Lauren Laverne there for the last few hours. Coming up, we have got some great music, Steve. We've got Kings of Leon, as you heard. We've got Alba, we've got The Darks, we've got Coldplay, Coral, Rolling Stones, we've got some Springsteen, The Smiths. Do you know what I mean? Do you need any more? And with all that, we've still got Pete Skinner with his wacky weather report.
Excellent, good old Pete.
Hey?
Nice to have him back.
Good news, Steve. Got some here, brought in. It's just a normal soup. It's Rooster's Pride. What flavour soup's that, Steve?
Oh, I know you brought that, and it's all a genuine article, and it's cock soup. Oh, thanks. Can I have a close look at that? Maybe there's some more humour I can drag.
What, you want a closer look at my cock soup?
Just a cock soup. Let me just. It says here delicious, appetising.
Oh,
3
is
to
it?
4 servings.
Because you know what I'm thinking of when you're talking about the
I'm
soup?
trying to think of innuendo.
I'm just thinking of a man's cock.
Penises, yeah. Let me just.
It's the darkness.
Use Rooster's Pride cock soup as a snack with crackers or toast.
Still thinking of a normal knob.
An appetiser, again, or a soup base. That doesn't really work as an innuendo.
No, whisper.
That's disappointing. We'll work on that, though.
The darkness growing on me on XFM 104.9. Going well, isn't it?
I've enjoyed it so far.
It's been a bit naughty and everything.
Yeah, it was a bit
like,
smart.
or
Nothing wrong with that.
no. Carl,
Alright.
having a good day?
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
What mood are you in this week?
What
'Cause we
mood
always
is that?
trying to assess each week. You know, it's a bit edgy.
He's got a red head. What's all that? He's got a red head all around the side and the front. What's that?
Sunburn?
No, I think I'm allergic to having my head rubbed.
Right. Right. Now, who would rub your head? That sounds a bizarre thing. Your girlfriend?
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I was
rubbing your head.
Well, yeah, but I was squeezing his head, fair enough, and he was screaming in agony. And then he went and made me a cup of coffee. And as he came over, just spilt boiling hot coffee on my legs. I'm wearing shorts, and he went, "Sorry," just like that. Just, it's like a series of Jackass out there this morning. I mean, my legs are burnt. Your head's a little bit red. But apart from that, having a good day.
Not bad. I was on the way in today, right, Steve?
Walking in.
Walking in, always walking in. I get left early and stuff. I like to get in early, get some bits done, that.
Monkey news, songs of phrase.
That sort of thing. And living in London, right, there's a lot of shops that open early and stuff. Do you know what I mean? People say that's a good thing about London.
Yeah.
It's almost like 24-hour city and stuff, right? I'm walking in and there's like, you know, you've got your news agents open.
Obviously.
You know, selling newspapers and that. That's good. They've got to be open early. Then you've got your coffee shops, your Starbucks,
You'll
your...
have a cup of coffee in the
Do you know what I
morning.
mean?
Yeah.
They're doing well in the morning. Then you see, like, the odd restaurant, and you think, well, maybe they sort of got the doors open, but they're preparing for lunch, so you think, fair enough.
Yeah. I'll let that pass.
Yeah. Carrying on walking down the road. Bondage shop. Open.
Sure.
About 10:30.
Yeah.
Busy, was it?
There's a couple in.
Really?
Some good offers. About 10:30 for a bondage shop.
I'm assuming if you're into bondage, though, you stock up at any time, day or night. I mean, you don't...
Yeah.
Well, I assume it...
I suppose you get up and you go, "Oh, I've got nothing on, I need to be a bit tied down.
Yeah.
I need some rope.
These clothes are too baggy. I need more belts.
Oh, God.
I need more straps.
Yeah, get some rubber on my face.
Weird, though, isn't it?
What were you doing in there?
So, just having a browse. But,
Oh.
so a bit worried really, because the things that I've noticed this week like that's probably a little bit smutty. You've brought your soup in.
I just found it out there. Sorry, yeah. It is Rooster's Pride, cock soup, noodle soup mix, chicken flavour. But I mean, do they not know that is obviously just going to be used on the Graham Norton show and Chris Tarrant when he's doing his show abroad?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I mean? How could they call it cock soup in this day and
Don't
age?
keep saying it.
Well, no, it's fine, because you can say cock as long as it means the male we've done this.
Oh, do you mean chicken?
Yeah, look, it's a picture of a chicken.
Yeah, sorry.
What did you think it meant?
No, I don't know, I had thoughts in my head.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's something else that's a bit sort of...
A bit blue?
A little bit blue, but then it's real as well, do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's
that
a problem.
excuses it.
Go on.
There's a programme
We
in the
couldn't
week.
have said the cock soup if we'd made it up, but because it's real, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. We also couldn't have said the cock soup if we'd have meant a male penis.
Thankfully we don't, so...
We mean a
no,
little
no.
chicken. Go on.
Yeah, this programme was on, it was Wednesday night, something. About this little lad.
Yeah.
It was a fella and a woman.
At the same time. What was
do
it,
you
like
mean?
like a cartoon with a secret identity?
By
Yeah.
night. What do you mean? He had both
By day a
sexes?
boy, by night a
Yeah,
woman.
he had it all.
had one.
What do you, sorry, wait. So he had male and female genitalia.
Yeah.
So what do you call someone that's born like that?
Weird.
Weird. Yeah.
Like, what's the term for it? Go on. You know it. We've talked about it before.
Aphrodite.
Really? So close! Hermaphrodite. Yeah, hermaphrodite. Yeah.
That's weird, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he had the ball,
Yeah.
and he had the...
Well, what happened was he was born, right?
Obviously.
And the doctor said, there you go. Lovely little boy and girl. So the mum was like, what? So he said...
No, I don't think the doctor was sarcastic.
Yeah, what?
I don't think the doctor was, sort of dissing them.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you mean, doctor? I'll have a look. There's a cock, there's a minge. Alright, see you later. What are you gonna call hit? But doctor, what do you mean? Have a look. He wasn't sarcastic. He didn't give
Doctor,
clues.
tell me what you mean, give me a straight answer.
He probably went, oh shit, she's got a cock. He didn't go, he wasn't sarky to the parents.
No,
Anyway.
but I'm just getting across, do you know what I mean? I always had a little bit just to...
Yeah, I know you
spice
do,
it
yeah.
up,
You should
spice
be
it
a
up.
newsreader. Be brilliant.
So there's a little kid lying there,
Yeah.
and the mum says, you know, what am I going to do then? So the doctor, I mean, I'm condensing this. It was like
Sure.
an hour long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says, she said, what will I do? And the doctor said, well, he's not sort of well hung,
Right.
Oh,
so he's better.
not sort of well on. This doctor
medical
has
term.
been, I assume, has been struck off since for saying these things.
It was a real doctor, it wasn't Dr. Fox.
Yeah. Right, go on.
So the doctor said, so I recommend that we make it a woman,
Right.
right? So they sort of do a little bit of,
Jiggery pokery.
a little bit of work. And
I don't think that's true, Carl.
no, it is. It was on the programme.
But I think they can tell, really what they were meant to be from their chromosomes, can't they? They can tell whether they're X, Y, Y, or
Yeah,
X.
not just, it's not
It's
very
just-
well hung.
No, I
Yeah.
tell you what, because back then, when this was going
Yeah,
on,
no,
right,
I'm just thinking they might not have had to.
the doctors then thought if you had a kid, right, and you thought it's a bit ugly, maybe it'll have a better life if it was a fella. If it was a girl and it's a bit ugly and you think it's going to get a hard time.
Right, don't talk shite.
What?
What? That a doctor would go, right, you've had a young girl, I'll tell you what, she's a pig, let's pop a cock on her. Don't
No,
talk
I'm not saying,
shite.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, say if you have like I say, a girl. I just think it's harder if a girl's ugly and
Yeah.
she's growing up.
Yeah.
She has a harder time.
Yeah.
Don't you agree with that? If
Possibly,
it's-
but you don't change someone when they when
No, yeah.
you don't change their gender
no,
because
but
they're
I'm
a
just
bit of a
saying
minger.
what I'm saying is the Elephant Man would have had a harder time if it was Elephant Woman. Is what I'm saying. But listen to me, listen. What the doctor was saying is, if you get a baby before it's 2,
Yeah.
back then they thought you could sort of say, well, instead of giving it a go-kart, give it dolls to play with.
Right, back when? What are we talking about?
The Middle Ages?
We put a song on, come back to this.
Yeah, it's Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City. Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City, on XFM 104.9. Okay, look, have another go, Carl. What were you saying? As an hermaphrodite, yeah, He was born, both sets. The doctor said he's not well lung. Let's lose that.
Let's get rid of that.
Let's make it into a
woman.
girl. Okay. I'm with you so far. Go on then.
So, anyway, gets away with it a little bit in the early years. Right. Starts going to school. Gets away with it a little bit.
Sure.
Right. But then, do you know when you get to that age and your head goes all funny? Like when you're a teenager and you sort of, I don't know, your skull goes.
Mine never did.
What are you talking about?
No.
What do you mean your head goes all
teenage
funny?
years when you look a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? You go from being quite a good-looking person, and then your body starts growing.
At different rates, so
Yeah,
you never know. You never know till 21 whether you're going to be a looker or not, or whether it's just.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
So,
Your head grew outwards at exactly the same rate, didn't it? That's why it's
Your
spherical.
head grew faster than your hair.
He's got a lovely head of hair, but
Exactly.
just below the skull.
Yeah.
He's got a little afro in there,
Yeah.
but it just couldn't get through the follicles. It couldn't catch up the skull. Expanding. Oh, bless him. Oh, come on, Baldy.
but the thing is, right, so you see these pictures of the lad stroke woman
Yeah.
who's trying to be a woman at the age of 14, 15.
Yeah.
She's got one of them big heads,
Right.
like a
okay.
lad. Doesn't, she starts having a hard time. She doesn't want to play with the mates, with the dolls and all that. She's more into go-karting and that sort of thing. Gets to an older age,
Yeah.
decides to go back. Is now sort of with a woman and having a life of a fella.
But did he did the doctor keep it for him in case he needed it?
No, he's had one put on though.
Has he? Where did he get that from?
Dunno, maybe that bondage shop.
Carl, you promised me that you were gonna reintroduce Educating Ricky.
Yeah, we can do that.
Have you got it? Have you got something that will, that's something that I won't know that's correct and that will interest me?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff.
Is it anything to do with monkeys?
No, we've got monkey news.
We've got
coming
monkey news coming out, of course we have. Yeah, monkey news people, and they're now over to XFM for monkey news with Karl Pilkington.
No, we won't do that yet. We're not doing that yet. Educating Ricky is...
Yeah. Well, let's do it.
We did it ages ago.
Educating Ricky. Oh, that's interesting, and it's correct.
Hang on a minute, though. What I do is, I tease you, don't I, with headlines.
Oh, go on then.
And then you have
Yeah.
to sort of go, that one sounds good.
Go on then. What
I
are
want
the
to know
headlines?
more about that. Educate me.
Yeah,
Right?
okay.
You've got, well,
Jeez. Oh.
that Nelly died.
That Nelly died. All right.
Okay. Okay. Could be about an elephant.
Yeah.
Go on.
You've got that. You've got, well,
I got well. Take well as red. So they all start with well. Okay.
Knob Body has been that lucky before.
Brilliant. All right. Okay.
Or you've got Get a Lobe of This Court Case.
Right. Okay.
Not bad.
I'm going for knob body. It's been that lucky before.
Right, it's a story about this kid who was born, right?
Was he?
Yeah, he's popped out, like, and the dad and the mum saw the baby, and he was like, oh, that's a good-looking little kid.
Sure.
And they were proud of that. And then,
I know they're surprised that it's a good-looking little kid. It's theirs.
yeah.
Like it could have been it could have been a frog, and they'd have gone, "Oh, he's got your eyes."
and then, the doctor goes, yeah, it is, but, look at that.
What?
He said, it's a boy, and, hasn't got a knob.
I love the doctor saying that. I love this GP.
Right.
Oh, this midwife saying that. Oh, I love little boy. Yeah, but no knob, baby. Mr. and Mrs. I mean, think.
Right. No, but I'm speeding it up a bit.
All right. Come on. So the baby's
Right, so
born.
the baby's like that,
doctor
and
says,
the
"Look at
doctor
you,
says
put it
that,
on."
and the woman's like, oh, it's our first as well, and stuff, right? She's really gutted.
What's the second going to be like?
So,
Your head.
Just a knob.
doctor says, yeah.
Look like Karl. Right, go on.
Right, go on.
So the doctor says, well, I'll leave it with you for a bit, get used to the idea, right?
As opposed to throwing it away.
So he wanders off.
Yeah.
He comes back with a smile on his face, right?
Found the knob.
So the mum and dad are like, what are you smiling about? He said, you're not going to believe this. Baby's just been born. It's got two. Right? You can have one of them. And they did a little operation.
Where did you get this information from?
That's in a book.
What book?
Is it the
a
same as the
joke
book that you carry round with you?
No.
With the woman with 3 legs, the juggler with 9 arms, and the bloke who found shagging a chicken under a rock. Is it in that book?
Hmm. Weird though, isn't it?
Well, it's not true.
It is true.
What, in the same hospital, there was a baby born without a knob. Luckily, it's Karl.
What happened?
You swear to God you're not making
The
it up.
doctor came back
honest to God.
smiling, because you won't believe it. There's a baby there with an excess of a knob.
It happened, honestly. I'm not, all these things are not made up, the educating stuff. That's why I do it, isn't it? Teaching you stuff, always teaching you stuff.
Alright, if anyone can confirm the baby with no knob,
they're going to
baby with
confirm it,
two.
because they're going to go to the same dubious website that Karl got it from.
I always try to be level-headed and reasonable in these situations.
And it's
You
always
ignore it.
Guatemala or Mexico. Rodriguez there was born without a knob. Luckily, baby next door, and then was got 2 knobs. What a load of shite. Play record. Karl, what you got lined up for us now?
Right, well, you've got a choice.
Nearly dead?
You can have a bit of educating.
Yeah, that's how educating. Come on.
Educating Ricky. Can we just clarify what this is? I think a lot of new listeners perhaps aren't familiar with this.
It's when Karl looks on the internet and finds a weird story about, the double knob, fun, and tells me about it, and it's usually not true.
Okay.
If it is true, I know it already. Go on then, Karl.
They're not really weird stuff, it's just stuff that's gone on. That's interested me, that's all it's
Yeah,
about, and I
go on.
educate about it.
I should just confirm that we've had a number of emails that say the baby born without a knob and then having one transplanted from a baby that luckily enough had 2 knobs is apparently true.
Yeah, no, listen.
So-
I don't question that you could be born with a deformity and get someone's, fingers, knobs, What I'm saying is, it didn't happen with a doctor goes, I'll leave with it. I don't believe it. That baby's got 2 knobs.
Exactly.
What a coincidence. I bet that little bit of information isn't in there, is it?
Sure.
That he went out the door, I'm gonna get a coffee, came back, bloody hell, hold on, there's an extra knob, I found an extra knob. We put that knob on there. Perfect.
Right, well you've opted for the headline, It Nearly Died. Right?
Yeah.
It's about this elephant.
Yeah.
80 years old.
Yeah.
In Africa. Right, it's had quite a good life and that. But then what happens is, I don't know what it's been eating, but its teeth fall out.
Yeah, that's what most elephants die of that, because they grind them down, the teeth, until they can't chew anymore, and most elephants of dying of old age with an elephant is the fact that you haven't got teeth anymore.
Well, it's had a good innings, it was 80.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway.
They used to pop the food up and feed it to it, and it lived quite happily.
No, what they did was, the village got together, said,
Chewed the food for
that's
it.
sad, isn't it? Made it some
False
teeth. Made it some teeth. Out of wood. Wooden teeth for this elephant, that's 80. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true, I don't know, I mean...
No, it is, forget that, you've been proved wrong once, it is true. What do you think about that?
Karl, it's like saying, yeah, my Auntie Nora saw a ghost, what do you think about that? There's no comment. I can't comment on it.
Would you have gone to the trouble, is what I'm saying?
To build an elephant's
It's
teeth?
80, it's 80.
Yeah.
With all the problems Africa's got and that, and they're messing about making teeth for an elephant.
What problems have Africa got?
Well, there's not enough food to go around, so if an elephant's dead, that's a bit more food left. Do you know what I mean? Why?
Yeah, but you're assuming this is in the middle of a village where there was famine and starvation. It might have been, it might have been South Africa, Kenya, you don't know, it's not all Ethiopia,
If it was a busy city, people in the village wouldn't have time to be messing about with making teeth and that, would they? It was a little village. Little village.
Yeah.
And local elephant.
The local elephant, like a local post office. I'll meet you by the elephant.
No, to be fair, Rick, I think I saw Bob Geldof on TV saying, please, people, stop making elephants' teeth. They are eating all the food, we're sending it over there.
F the number, where's the teeth? I don't know, it's possible.
Send us the
I mean,
teeth.
it's possible that they've made this elephant some dentures. It is possible.
Wouldn't it
Yeah.
have been easier to just...
Pulp it.
Exactly.
I'd have
Mash
thought-
it up, serve it some soup or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making its teeth, it's really, so I'd have thought I wouldn't have thought it would work for very long, and I wouldn't have thought the elephant would understand that it was teeth, so I wouldn't have been able to thought that villagers could do it. I mean, top veterinary surgeons could have done some, but I think they made it all goodwill, but I don't want to thought it worked, so they probably end up dying or pulping it like I suggested. But, thanks very much, play a record. Right, okay, you got the final educating Ricky, Karl?
Get a load of this court case.
Yeah.
What happened was, right,
Allegedly.
Fella's in court for something that he shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah. You got all the detail then at your fingertips.
And the jury says, he's guilty, right? And the judge went, what, he's not guilty, off you go then, right? He misheard it. They couldn't do anything about it, because once the judge has sort of said, you're not guilty, off you go, you can go home. And the jury were like, what are you doing? They said he's guilty. And he's like...
What do you think of the Thorns album?
I'm quite a big fan, Rick. Yeah, I like that sort of old country sound. I think
I
it's,
know. And that compilation you made me, that was
that sort of thing.
really good. The Jayhawks, thanks for that, by the way.
There was the hanging one, wasn't there? There was the hanging one that happened.
Are you still there?
What bands have you been checking out recently? Any new things?
Just exploring all kinds of stuff. Obviously, you know, I like dipping back into the old stuff. I'll tell you what I've been appreciating a lot recently, Rick. Billy Bragg.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
Great guy.
Isn't he playing
He's playing
soon?
in March, yeah, you might want to try and
You heard
check
about
that out.
the hanging one when
What's this
the
one?
fella was...
Sorry, mate, go on.
When the fella was hung.
Well hung?
He was hung, and...
Ung? So it was Ung?
He was hung by a rope.
So, isn't that... No, I think it wasn't he, a Chinese emperor? And wasn't he Ung?
Yeah.
He was Ung.
Some fella who'd done something, they hung him.
It's not a word anymore, he was Ung.
Well, don't be doing that again, because you said squoze wasn't a word, and then I shown you a menu today that someone sent, and it said fresh orange.
Yeah.
Squoze.
In inverted commas, and next to it was the word colour, spelt C-O-L-O-R. So, presumably either the American menu, right, in which case there's loads of American words that we don't use, or it's just a badly typed piece of work.
Anyway, there was a bloke that was
He was hung and that, but he didn't die.
Ung on that, he was definitely a Chinese. Ung on that, yeah. I remember him now, yeah.
He didn't die, and they said, oh, just hang on a minute whilst we change the rope and that, and he stood there waiting, changed the rope. They, tried to, you know, do it again, and, didn't work.
It didn't work, right.
So, they got another rope, right? Didn't work. And then they had to let him go, because it's like there's a well-known saying or something from this thing.
Yeah. Have you seen, do you like, Oh My Car's On by, Tim Burton's new single?
I don't know that I'm
Right,
particularly
Oh, it's brilliant. Can we play a bit later?
know.
Yeah, can we play it? Let's play a record now, and, we'll, talk more a bit later.
Well, yeah, then, here's a good one.
Go on then.
Right, in Dubai, this woman went to Dubai for a holiday. And, she was over there, and apparently in the markets...
Bit of by spider?
They sell lizards.
Oh, go on.
Right, just like for people to buy. So she buys one, not knowing that you're not really meant to take him out of the country.
Sure.
Puts it in a bag.
Yeah. As you do.
What have you? And, then she gets to the airport when she's going home, she's thinking, I can't really leave it in my bag.
Yeah.
So she puts it on her head.
On his head?
Wears it as a hat.
She wore the lizard as a hat?
Yeah. People on the plane were just like, yeah, everything's fine, you know, they're doing the cross-checks and that.
Yeah.
Have you got your seatbelt on? Yeah.
There's a woman
great.
there with a lizard hat.
Everything's going well. She gets off the plane at Manchester Airport. Lizard sticks its tongue out.
Yeah.
The air hostess says, what are you doing with that? She goes, I've had it.
Lizard said, I just found her in Dubai.
They said, I've had this with me all journey, and they said, well, you shouldn't have done, and they took it off her.
Yeah, I think that is true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about that?
Yeah, good, yeah. Yeah. That educated me. Right, what, any more?
Well, what's that taught you? That's taught you, you know, be careful when smuggling lizards
Yeah.
back as some kind of hat.
Yeah, don't just say, lizard, keep your tongue in, you twat. Not at the customs officer! Yeah.
And, what else have we got?
Anyone didn't quite make it?
Anything to declare? I've got a lizard on my head.
We've got an old saying one, if you want that.
Go on then.
Are these ones, sorry, are these ones that didn't make the list?
These are ones that didn't make it.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I always get more in than I need to, just in case.
Just think if someone's just tuned in now. Is Anders listening? Is,
Well, I'll tell you,
Dickie
bizarrely,
Anderson?
I've got an email from Richard Anderson, Dickie Anderson.
Go on.
The Dick Machine, which...
The big dick, which...
now this is interesting. It's, I mean, I think we're wearing him down. Ricky, I think your show might be improving.
Go on.
That sense of despair and loneliness I normally feel when listening to your show doesn't seem so bad today.
He's desensitized to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he's given
We're
up.
wearing him down.
Or he's just given up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to this long enough and you'll stand.
Right, so...
Let's get out of this house.
We've got one more...
Go on.
educating Ricky to...
Go on and quick then. I need educating.
Right, Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
How was he going to outwit Darren Brown? You said something in the break.
Oh, I have to say, yeah, Darren Brown, who, we bumped into as well, and he did this incredible trick where he puts £40 down on the table. He says, I can tell you which hand you've got a £1 coin in, let's say 5 times out of 5, you know, so I have a £1 coin in one hand, I put it behind my back, I bring my hands out, and he can tell me every single time which hand it's in by asking questions, by doing various
Well, he
things.
doesn't ask, but he just goes, no, you might have put it in that one, you might do the same again, but then you're an intelligent person, you're praying up with it, he goes, so it's in that one, and he does it every time,
and he gets it every time.
incredible.
It's absolutely majestic. And I mentioned this to Karl.
Yeah.
And, well, Karl, you tell me how you think you could outwit Darren Brown. Because your dad used to do this trick, you told me.
My dad used to play this.
Yeah. How old were you?
Dunno, probably about 10.
So you probably weren't as sharp as you were now, then.
So he used to play it, and the way of telling what hand he's got it in, his hand looks bigger. So that's all you've got to do.
That's how he did it then!
Yeah.
That's
So
how
to catch Darren out, to catch
It was a
Darren
bit
out.
different because he did it with golf balls, but
To catch Darren out, Karl told me, Rick,
He did it with a spud!
to catch Darren out,
Yeah.
the hand which hasn't got the coin in, just make it slightly bigger. Just make it, like, extend it slightly, so it's slightly larger, and that'll catch Darren out. He'll never be able to stop
That's
that.
how he did it.
or just put £1 in each hand.
Okay.
And wind him up. Just go, no, you're wrong.
You are brilliant, Karl.
Yeah.
Do this one.
Did your dad used to do the one where he takes your nose off of your face and puts it between his fingers?
Did you keep going to the doctors?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Right.
You know how that's done? You know he's not actually taking your nose
It's his
off.
thumb. Go
It
on.
is his thumb.
Last one.
Yeah.
Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. It's been a mess today, hasn't it?
What do you mean it's been a mess?
It's been a mess.
What has?
This.
What? The show?
Yeah.
How has it been any worse?
It's just all over the place. There's no sort of, it's not tight like it normally is. And she'll be going away with this, thinking that's what the show would be like.
She listens
On
to the show.
MTV.
She knows it's a shambles every week. Go on.
Well, don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
Yeah.
Do you know the saying, ham it up?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Right, well, do you know what it means?
Well, it means to overact.
Right. Well, years ago, with actors in musicals and stuff, the actors used to look pretty ill on the stage because they didn't have proper makeup and that.
Right.
Right. So what they used to do, to make themselves look
Rub their face in pigs?
well, they got bacon, rubbed it on the face, and it made the face a bit sticky because of all the, like, you know, the pig fat and bit of lard and stuff like that. And then they'd go and get some bricks.
Bricks.
Yeah, house bricks. Rub them together, make some sort of red dust from the brick, and then put the dust on the face. And the fat and the lard and that would make the dust stick to the face. And they'd look well under the lights. And that's where the
They'd
saying...
smell great as well.
Yeah, well...
Lovely. Everyone likes the smell of bacon.
No, but... So that's the old, ham it up, that's
I
where
like
that
that.
comes from.
You know, if it's true, I've no reason to think that it's not.
So that's your third Educating Ricky today. So, what have you learned?
Nothing. Absolutely sod all.
You've got your hamming it up.
Yeah.
Rams are gay. They know which ones are gay now.
Now!
And,
At last,
the
thank God.
fella who can hand read, an arse.
If you missed the rest of the show, what are you going to make of that? Have you just tuned in?
You are a maniac, Karl.
So, you mentioned Educating Ricky. We've only got, do you know we normally have like 3 installments?
Yeah.
We've only got 2 today.
Why?
Just,
Well, you clearly weren't busy Christmas shopping, so what's the
Yeah. Yeah.
well, like I say every week, it's a bit of a struggle finding stuff that I can teach you.
I bet you were gutted you missed that programme, weren't you?
Well, I'm interested in stuff like that, because I like learning, which gets us on to Educating Ricky.
Oh, excellent, slick.
We've had a good year of stuff. Teaching
We have,
stuff.
yeah, I've learned a lot.
Can you remember any of the
Of course I
highlights?
can. There was a deaf girl and she hit her head and she could hear.
Yeah.
There was also, some people who ate tomatoes thought they were poisonous on lead. There was also a doctor who gave a blood transfusion, with some parrots from the pet store.
Yeah.
Because the doctor in America, and it was the olden days when the lines were bad, said give him his parents' blood, and the doctor this side thought said give him some parrot's blood. So that was true, and that educated me.
That was fact. What have you got for us?
Well, we've only got 2, because I've taught you about jellyfish today, that we need them, so we've only got two things to go at, and I give them a little headline so you remember them to make them snappy. The 2 headlines you've got, oh, what a catastrophe.
Okay.
And the second one is, well, you'd think it'd be Bughead, wouldn't you?
What?
Well, you'd think it'd be Bughead, wouldn't you?
You'd think it beat
No, you'd think it'd be.
Yeah.
You'd think it'd be Buggered, wouldn't you?
Bughead.
Bughead.
This can't be. If this is anything with a bug living without a head, I'm not interested. Because we've done it. All you've done is
Well, let's just do what a cat.
So it is that. Is well, do that
give
one
us the
first.
Bughead one.
Which one are we
No,
doing?
do the Bughead one.
Right, well, the Bughead one. Well, we've talked a lot about animals and that, haven't we, without heads.
Surprisingly, we have. I think a disproportionate amount on it.
If you're a new listener, this is the first time you listen, you'd be surprised.
Yeah, we've done all that. We've covered worms, the way if you cut their head off it grows back if you don't cut too high above its neck. We've covered
The chicken.
the fella who blinked.
Yeah. I can't go into it again.
Right.
Let's not go into it again.
Ah!
We've had the chicken with no head that lived for
Yeah.
8 months.
Yeah.
And we've had
And we've had the
cockroaches.
cockroaches living for a week without an head.
Right, okay.
Well, it's a bit more on the cockroach front, really.
Right.
They've found, right, that if you get a cockroach
Yeah.
and you cut its head off,
Yeah.
right, and then you find a cockroach that's still got its head, but it hasn't got any legs,
Right.
right, it's not over for both of them, right? Because what you can do, you get the one that's got the legs
Right.
with no head,
Yeah.
sort of running around, get the one with the head,
Uh-huh.
sit it on top of it,
Right.
get a little tube
Okay.
so that the fluids.
So is this aunt is gone out of the
Let him
room?
finish.
Is this like Blue Peter?
Let him
You could get this for Christmas.
Right, you
Yeah.
get a little tube, you sit that on top so the bodily fluids are still running between the two.
Right.
The head of the one on the top will control the feet of the one on the bottom.
Okay.
What about
Good.
And, will it continue to live?
that? Yeah.
Okay, you don't know that for sure, do you? Just
No,
listen.
that was just a
No,
question out of the
that's-
blue he wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of that?
It's good, yeah, it's great. Yeah, just a primitive nervous system that can, yeah. Yeah.
Did you expect us to be more impressed and excited by that?
Well,
Did you fall off your chair when you read that? Did you literally topple off? Going,
Did you
"Whoa, look at
did you
cartoon."
think you were going to be the Frankenstein of the insect world?
Yeah.
No, I just was thinking if they can do that, you know,
With them, can they do it with
can
humans?
humans? Because I also did a bit of research
course
on.
you did.
Did you come to the sort of conclusion that apart from the moral aspect of it, that the human was probably more complicated than?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Things move on, don't they? Do you know what I
Modern
mean?
science, Rick.
You know, I had Binatone as a kid. Now they've got PlayStation 2, and the difference in 10 years.
They
is
have
amazing.
found that if you lose your head, a cockroach can live normally on your body, but not the other way round. Your head on it cannot control its legs because it's
Yeah.
too complicated
It's
for
too
your
confusing.
brain. So, yeah.
Well,
So,
then other research. Because I thought if you don't learn from that, I'll give you something else for free, right?
Go on.
Free. That they can clone people.
Uh-huh.
The only reason they don't do it, right? Say if like Ricky needed a lung, right? They could clone you and make you the same. But the only reason they don't want to do it is because it'd be a bit horrible, wouldn't it? So
and it would take sort of 18 years for me to get an adult lung.
And there's all kinds of moral implications.
yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? You hadn't thought of that?
Sorry, because lest we forget, Rick, he ended with the only reason they don't do it is because it's a bit horrible and that. Which scientist said that?
Right, let's leave
That's a
that then.
quote.
Right. That's not it. That's not the other one.
That's it.
No. That was just, you know,
We've got another one to come.
Oh, I
Teach us
can't wait.
the headline again. What was the headline?
the
again?
headline. Oh, what a catastrophe. Right, so listen, right.
Okay.
So last educating Ricky of the year.
Oh, Christ.
What a catastrophe.
Yeah, let's do that then.
Right.
Joy of plum.
There's this woman, right?
Yeah.
This woman, she's reading Guinness Book of Records,
Yeah.
and she's flicking through,
Right.
and she notices that there's a world record for a cat, right, with 27 toes, right? So she reads it and she thinks, well, that's not right, because her cat's got 28.
What do you mean your cat's got 28?
Her cat's got 28 toes. So she was like, well, hang on a minute, mine should be in there. So there was
I
like,
missed the very beginning of this.
she was
Just looking to the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh,
She's the record.
woman was looking to the Guinness Book of
The
Records.
woman with the cat with 28 toes looking
Right.
through, and it said the record for the cat's toes was 27. She thought, hold on. Hold on a minute, Ross McWhirter. My cat's got one more than that cat, so go on.
Anyway, so she said, you know, the person doing the interview with her said, you know, is it happy? And she said, yeah, you know, it's great, and it's really good in the snow.
Right. It gets through a lot of nail varnish.
Well, you know, that's what it said, right? It said it's really good in the snow. So, I just was thinking, I mean, that's it, really.
That's not it.
That's the end of that story. But
Brilliant.
But what I'm thinking is, like...
It was two cats welded together.
What do they do when they do that? Do they put on a... What do they do? Maybe someone could call in and tell us. If you're a woman, and you have a...
Do you want to speak to someone who's got that information?
Yeah, I do want to know. What do they
If
use
you've got
it-
that information, I don't want to talk to
Do
you.
they construct one? Do they construct it?
From plasticine.
Or do they whack on a dead one?
What?
What?
Whack on a dead one?
Yeah.
What? What? That's not. It's not. What do you mean? No.
When a woman has a knob put on
Yeah.
to have a sex change, where do they get it from? Is it constructed? Do they find, like, I don't
From
know...
a donor.
A donut?
From a donor.
Oh, well, yeah. A donor?
A
What?
donor. Yeah.
Yeah, but presumably it's like
Maybe there's someone who
well,
wants
after
to
they're
become-
dead, I mean.
No, I thought maybe
Very
there's-
few people. It's not like giving someone a kidney and then sort of
Maybe,
like
it is.
celebrating
Maybe if
with
you're a
them.
guy and you want to become a woman, you've
That's
got one to
true.
spare.
That's true.
But a swap.
Yeah, just do a little swap, probably on the internet or something.
Or Noel Edmonds.
What do you mean? What,
On Swap Shop.
He's not a man.
No, but he could go, we got a fella here who, got a lovely, nearly new, unused penis. Wants,
Yeah, Keith Chegwin out in
What's-
kind of Bognor Regis.
wants a couple of tits and a fanny for that, so, call in.
It reminds me of the, do you remember the John Wayne Bobbitt story? Which
Yeah.
it's always seemed odd to me. I never really kind of got all the information. Do you remember that one, Karl, where the woman cut off her husband's penis because he
When he
was
was
adulterous or
sleeping.
something? I think it was sleeping, and she drove off. I think he
threw it
woke
in the
up
woods.
quite
She
quickly.
yeah, that's so much better than the alarm
Exactly, than the
clock,
alarm
isn't it?
call, yeah.
Yeah.
And she threw it off. She threw it out of the car
window.
into the woods,
Yeah.
and he went and found it.
Yeah.
But imagine if he'd got to the hospital and they'd sewn it back on, and he'd gone, "That's bigger than I remember." I'm not sure this is mine.
How many of you cut us where we done Paul the
We done Paul the
That's
Knobs,
where,
I know.
yeah. That
That was an extraordinary story. And then, bizarrely, he became a porn star.
yeah. Yeah.
Very strange life that man's had.
Well, it is a bit of a shock to the system, isn't it? Oh, cutting your knob off.
I know.
Do you remember that, French bloke, the performance artist of about 1910? Do you remember him?
No.
He, as a performance art, he cut his, in a theatre, he cut his knob off to a crowd of people. Now,
What?
yeah.
That's only a one-night trick, though, isn't it?
Exactly. But what if there'd been a bang outside?
They went
and
encore. He went, what?
Yeah, or they looked outside because a car backfired. He
Yeah.
went, did you see that? I go, what? I go, oh, just cut the... Did you? Yeah. Think of that.
Sacre bleu.
I know. French are funny, aren't they? Cutting your knob off for your art.
Weird, isn't it?
Longview. Further on XFM 104.9.
As we're having so much fun with penises,
Yeah.
I thought perhaps I should just mention...
That's a slogan.
We should just mention this story, briefly, it's in the paper today. A Russian is selling what he claims is Hitler's mummified penis for £12,000.
Yeah.
Ivan Zadurprov says his ex-Red Army soldier dad hacked it off as a souvenir after storming the tyrant's Berlin bunker after his suicide in 1945.
Yeah. Not...
You
Why
convinced?
did he wait till now?
Yeah.
He's found out that, that might get a bit of £12,000.
£12,000. Which doesn't seem a great deal. Doesn't seem a great deal of money, really.
Well, it's useless, isn't it?
True.
You're not going to be able to use it. It's not going to be able to... It's not going to be a donor. Imagine that if you walked round...
Yeah. You'll never... Making love to a girl, you'll never believe who this is.
yeah. You never believe who's doing you, love.
Exactly. This is gonna freak you out.
This is, just relax.
Exactly.
Okay, sit down now. Was
I
that
got a
all
little
right?
surprise for
It was
you.
brilliant, yeah, so you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Right, are
Did you
you
know
a fan of the Third Reich?
Exactly.
Well, no, awful racist stuff. Okay, let's go a different tack.
Yeah.
You did like the sex. I love the sex. Okay, then. Yeah, it's not gonna be Hitler's knob, is it?
But I like the idea that, I mean, you're you're in the Red Army.
Yeah.
You've just stormed Berlin.
Yeah.
1945. You crash into the bunker.
You've gone through
Hell.
terrible, how you've lost 20 million comrades.
Unbelievable.
Oh, oppression
It's been
everywhere.
going on for years.
You're in there, you see the man.
Yeah, here he is, he's dead.
He's dead, oh.
The figurehead and leader of one of the most despicable, you know.
You turn to your friends, there's a tear in your eye.
Yeah. And your immediate thought is, I ought to chop off his todger.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I said Bagsy. I said
Bagsy is Winkle.
I said Bagsy is Winkle outside. Whoever it was. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be Hitler. Brilliant.
It's just, I can't, it just doesn't make sense. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. And I don't know how is he expecting to prove this? Because I want some proof.
Well, I think that's why he said that. He probably started off with, oh, I've got Hitler's face. And they went, brilliant. Oh, let's have a look at it. What do you mean let's have a look? Well, just check it's Hitler's face. Obviously, I know what he looks like. Oh, yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, you know what no, it's not his face. What wouldn't you know what it looked like? Well, I mean, no one's ever seen his genitals. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
I've got his.
It's got a little swastika on it.
Is that proof, is it?
Yeah, little
Have you got his ball? Well, no, the Albert Hall's got one, his mother's got the other, so I don't know.
See, the Albert Hall, I would have thought, would probably be paying that £12,000, because apparently they've already got his ball.
Yeah, they got one of his balls.
They got one of his balls in the Albert Hall, his mother's got the other.
Yeah.
But if they got the Todger
If they can track down the one his mother's got, they would have a complete set of Hitler's.
I'm just hoping it doesn't fall into the hands of some kind of crazed genetic scientist.
What, could clone it from his knob?
Could clone Hitler.
Back to, I don't even want to think about the future if that's the sort of way we're going.
Exactly.
If that's the sort of way we're going, Carl, I'd rather not know about it.
What do you make of it, Carl?
Weird, isn't it?
It is weird. I mean, I don't want to go on for this too long. We've probably got about a minute left for the first half hour, and I reckon should can this sort of.
What, 30 minutes of genital talk?
Just quickly,
Saturday afternoon?
There's one in a museum. I think it's like that London museum.
What? One what?
Well, do you know like how people are buying weird stuff and that to put in museums?
Yeah.
There's this device that, I mean, think about it, years and years ago they used to torture people, didn't they?
Yeah.
Really badly. And the device that they've got...
there's no real good torture, but go on, I see your point.
Yeah, but this device, right, think about it, you've done something really bad years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and you're thinking, oh, what are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? Could do anything here, it could be the end for me. The device they've got is this thing that you put on your bits, as a fella, and it's sort of metal, so it means you can't sort of, you know, get excited. It puts a stop to you, sort of...
That wasn't a torture device. I think it was a Victorian thing to stop, adolescent boys wanking. They used to have things like wrist things as well with, like, spikes on them. It's not a torture device.
Isn't that?
Well, not really. Imagine that being captured by
No,
a... Right, you're never
I was
gonna get
gonna
hard
say.
on again. Alright. Not really a torture device, is it?
And there wasn't that many nice-looking women wandering about anyway back then, was there? Didn't get excited about stuff.
What are you talking about?
Well, the filth, it stunk and everything back then. Right, we've covered that. No more of that talk now, right? Let's move on.
Filthy,
All Victorian women, filthy and stinky.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Bit of Rolling Stones
Yeah,
and then
let's
set
go
up
for
the
it.
old songs of phrase.
Yeah.
Stones, Beast of Burden. We've not played it before. It's an absolute jam. The Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden. Can I just take this opportunity, Rick, to say to Sir Mick Jagger, happy 60th birthday this year, Mick.
Happy 60th birthday this year.
Yeah.
Was it today?
No, I don't know.
Well, otherwise you'd be saying happy birthday to everyone every day.
No,
every year.
no, because I don't know Mick Jagger, do I? So I'm just taking the opportunity, in case he happens to be listening today, to wish him a 60th. Happy 60th, or someone who knows him.
What about Brian Ferry? What about Brian Ferry?
How's Brian?
Right, well, I
I'm
mean,
not-
he's
not-
got
I'm
a
not really a fan
birthday
of
this
Brian
year.
Ferry. I'm not going to wish Brian Ferry a birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Well,
Silence is easy. Star Sailor on XFM 104.9. Right, it's the quiz of the week.
if you want to go out and do some shopping, this is probably a good time, and come back again for about 15:15.
But don't
So-
forget, what I will say is, even though these clues, we're going to do songs of phrase, by the way, where Karl picks out a phrase that he might have said once, tries to find words from songs to put it together. You've got to guess as many as you can, song or artist, I can't remember. But even though you might look at it and go, that's mental, I don't know any of them, you might win if you get 2 right. I mean, I think the winner last week got about 3 out of 3
Well,
or
I have to
7.
be honest with you. I mean, last week, Rockbusters, surprisingly, was a very, very popular quiz.
Yeah,
It just happened to be awful.
yeah.
This one is pitiful. I mean, it's truly atrocious.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't even have a fan base. I mean, there's no one championing this one, Carl. Last week, seriously, mate, I got about
Oh, Carl's
seven
face.
7 or 8
That
replies.
is, oh god, that's terrible. That was like when you told a kid that you couldn't afford a Christmas present this year. Look at his face.
Yeah, it is a bit distraught. I
Carl,
suppose
what
it's like Chris Evans' face when they said they were cancelling Girls and Boys. It's like, I can come up with great TV game shows like that. No, you can't, Chris. Not anymore.
Oh, his little glasses slid down his nose.
I'm the guy who don't forget your toothbrush.
Yeah. Oh, all that money you owe me. No, you owe us. Oh, can't believe it.
I remember we were shown the cartoon version of Animal Farm when we were about like 15, 16. We were discussing it afterwards about Napoleon. Oh yeah, great. Oh yeah, communism versus the poor proletariat and all this. And this bloke went, "You lot make me sick. It was just a nice film about some animals." Brilliant.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Carl? No, go on. What's your point? Because you can see the irony there, can't you?
I haven't seen it.
No.
If you want to do a serious point, don't use animals.
No? Well, I disagree with there because I think my favourite is probably Charles Dickens, and I think the greatest story ever told is A Christmas Carol, and there's only one way that could ever be improved, and that is a Muppet Christmas
That's
Carol.
absolutely right, yeah.
So, and I think that you could, and I think people could take a lesson from that and maybe do other films with the Muppets. A Muppet Schindler's List.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make it so moving, couldn't you?
Schindler's List in space.
Miss Piggy's Choice. Well, we talked about that.
What?
About things like that in art as well. Do you think that bringing something so serious to the masses, like films do, things like the Holocaust and like Sophie's Choice, where she has to choose which child lives and dies.
Why does she have to pick?
Well, because the Nazis were horrible, nasty, evil people.
And which one did she pick?
I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's the point.
I love the idea that
this is not a betting game.
No, but I imagine this is like Deal No Deal. It's kind of, you're down to the last two. Which one are you going to go for?
God. But why did you ask which one did she choose? Because even if he'd said the names, Robert and Alison, what difference would it make? You don't know the story. Why is
No,
it that
because
you've
then
said...
I'd ask more. I'd ask more then. If he said Alison, I'd go, what was it with Alison? What did she have over Robert? That's what films are meant to do. You question it. Whenever I watch a film with Suzanne, I always say at the end, what was going on there?
Oh,
That's because you're an idiot.
Christ!
That's because you've just watched Muppet Christmas Carol and you can't understand why a frog's able to talk.
I'm all for films with a good storyline.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's a perfect point. One extraordinary point.
He's gonna follow this up, mate. He's gonna follow
He's got
this up.
something there. He's got
Come
something
on,
here.
Carl. Go on then. What's your
No.
take on films?
Films are really good. You can get lost in them.
Right.
And
You like one with a good story?
I mean, whenever anyone asks, it's always the same. It's Elephant Man. It's Kez. Mission Impossible 2.
Mission Impossible 2. These are what you consider the great works
No, I'm
of
just
film
saying
art.
these are ones that I've enjoyed recently. There's so many films that I haven't seen, yet you always say, oh, have you seen so-and-so? You
Well,
love
Mission
it.
Impossible 1.
And there's good news for you. 3's out.
That's true. One of the most striking art exhibitions that I ever attended, Karl, was an exhibition of outsider art. Something I'm sure you're very familiar with. Outsider art, of course, is work that is made by people who are often institutionalized for mental health problems, or they are just incredibly, the people who aren't in any way part of the art establishment.
Well, right up to psychopathic murderers, clinically insane mass murderers would count as outsider art. I went to an outsider art exhibition in New York. It was incredible, and I bought a painting of this guy. He's a chronic schizophrenic, and he paints in tar, like road tar, that he gets from roads, and he paints in that on wood he finds in sort of skips. And it's incredible, because it's sort of like scratched in, and it's amazing. There's this thing of Jesus being helped down off the cross. Admittedly, I was walking around there going, this is fucking mental, and James was going, you've got to stop saying that. Because, of course, some of the people are mental. There was one bloke doing the sculpture of a skull, right? And underneath, it was like a little head with his teeth. Underneath, he'd put a sign that said real teeth. Where did he get the real teeth from?
What I think is interesting about that is how much therapy it provides for these often mentally unstable people. Which is another important value of art, of course. People's self-expression, people being able to give a little piece of themselves through their work. Do you not see any value in that? How do you express yourself?
Whistle.
You whistle.
Yeah, I found over Christmas I whistled a lot more than I usually do. And I think that was just freedom.
What do you mean freedom?
Right,
freedom.
expand on this point, if you would.
Well, that's what art is, isn't it? It's you being free of all the world's heaviness on your shoulders.
See, that's a great quote, that. That's great, that. For art is freedom. I love that, because I think you've really hit on something there.
Would you include the free of all the world's heaviness?
Well, I know what you meant. I know what you meant there.
Would you include that one in it?
I mean, I would include the world's heaviness in my freedom. You know, some artists are attracted to the dark side, the heaviness of the world.
But I just want to return to you whistling as your artistic expression of freedom. I mean, why did you find yourself whistling more?
That's what was weird.
So just take us through a typical day. When would the whistling begin?
So this was that you spent Christmas down in Kent with Suzanne and her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could I suggest something? Your freedom was thinking, I'm in my own place now, I'm going to annoy them.
Well, it was mainly, it's when we were playing Scrabble. And they were taking ages to have their go, and couldn't have the radio on because the boiler affects the radio.
You got boiler problems down in Kent as well?
It works, it just gives something off. Every time it kicks in, the radio goes all staticky.
Right.
So I just was sort of supplying the soundtrack.
And what kind of things would you be whistling?
It was like, I just sort of did a whistle medley. It was going from one thing to another.
A Wedley.
And a man was impressed. She was like, oh, you can whistle, can't you? I was going, yeah. And then she was saying, how loud can you go? I was just doing all different levels.
Sorry, this sounds like a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. The boiler's setting off the radio. I can whistle. Oh, you're good whistling, aren't you? Oh, yes, Scrabble. Talk about outsider art.
I love the fact that Karl's life is like living in a home when you're in your 80s.
Yeah.
But you felt that this was your way of expressing yourself.
I just found it odd, because I don't whistle that much. I think just because I think I'm fed up most of the time when I'm in London. And you don't whistle when you're fed up. Whistling's a happy thing. You never get an angry man suddenly breaking into a
Well,
whistle.
the people who aren't whistling are usually pissed off. But yeah, the bloke who's whistling, it's like, it's the least, he's the least annoyed person in the room when someone's whistling. Same as holding a drill. The only person that noise doesn't annoy is the bloke who's drilling. Everyone else wants to punch his face in. Same with whistling. Whistling, there's no point in whistling.
No, there is.
No, there's not.
Don't know. I mean, our window cleaner was known as, like, you know, that's how you knew he was there. He always whistled. And in the end, he fell off his ladder, broke his front teeth.
Oh.
Retired.
Well, because he couldn't whistle.
That was it. It was like,
Well, yeah, he
can't
whistles all the time.
Can't whistle,
Well, yeah.
can't clean windows. It's a bit tragic.
Could he take along a whistle? Just pop that in his mouth.
Yeah, I suppose he could have done. Didn't think of that.
What about a flute? Or a recorder? Not London's burning again. Fucking clean the windows and then fuck off.
He didn't really think this through, did he? He retired at the age of 28. And his whole family were bankrupt.
With no teeth.
Yeah.
And just a bucket and a
Why aren't
squeegee.
you working, Dad? Because I can't whistle.
I can't whistle anymore. And if the day you give up whistling is the day I give up window cleaning.
So you never whistle?
No.
I can't really whistle very well. No.
I don't whistle, but I can whistle better than that.
What, you did this for hours on end while playing Scrabble?
About 2 hours.
2 hours?
Hell.
Put my word down.
And
then-
this, sorry, can we just hear that again? Just hear it, can we hear it?
So you
But
were
that
whistling, you were whistling after you had your go as well?
yeah.
Fucking hell, Carl.
But hang on, let's just hear a bit. That is Karl's self-expression. That is his artistic self-expression right there.
A name. No tune, no nothing.
There's mental patients who have smeared canvases with shit who have expressed more than you have in that.
Yeah, but it's not about other people. I'm not there to please other people.
You're there to annoy him.
What was the best word you came up with in Scrabble?
Don't knock me out Scrabble, because I do alright. What's weird is, when I play Scrabble, my brain can come up with words that I don't normally say.
Okay, this isn't... No, I'm a cheat here. Your brain can come up with words you wouldn't normally say.
Just words that I'd never drop into a sentence.
Tree, cat.
Go on.
Squirm. That's using a Q. It's worth 10, that. It's not bad, is it? No, I'd never say that.
I've never heard you, I don't think I've ever heard you say squirm, no. I don't think you're right, Carl. I've never heard you say squirm.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weird.
And yet your brain popped that one out.
And then, yeah, when it wasn't I go, just... Anyway, so that's sort of doing art for yourself as opposed for other people.
I don't think you can count what you just did then as art. Hobby maybe, craft, pastime. I don't think you can count that as art. I'm not being funny. I'm being a bit snobby here, but I think there's a difference between Beethoven and squirm. There's a cue in that.